Hello. So we are going to do a little bit of tutorial for sitewizy.com, especially on the editor side, because that's the place where most of the users struggle the most. It is quite an easy thing to use, but let's have a look and get a walkthrough for the entire editor. Okay, so this is the workspace as you can see here. All right, so what do we have here? On the top left corner, you've got elements, you have some fillers, and you have a properties tab. Under the properties tab, you have the Be Quick tab and the styles tab. Okay. On the top, you have the hide sidebar. If you click on that, that's going to hide the sidebar. You click on it again, it'll open the sidebar, which basically has got all the controls. The sidebar also scrolls down, and there are some smart widgets like Google Maps, YouTube, Google Forms, Facebook, PayPal, uh, etc., Instagram that are there. Some of these are more advanced ones, and that are harder to make. So highly recommend that you use an affiliate designer to do the job, but you can also do it yourself. All right. On the top, you have the undo, redo, preview tab. So preview is essentially very similar to the hide sidebar, but one thing it does it once you click preview, it basically blocks the user from editing. So right now we are in edit mode. So when you click on it, all this stuff is editable, right? So when you go in preview mode, it basically doesn't kind of disables the editing part. So you can see how the website would look once it's published upon the internet, right? So you show the sidebar again. Full screen mode is of course what we are in right now. Publish is basically once you click on this site, whatever edits you have made will get published online. Save is just to save it but not publish it. So the system SiteWizy essentially saves the edits, but you only get to publish it once you click the publish button, right? One thing to notice, if you publish it, it also automatically saves it. So that's a distinction. Also, sometimes users want to make some edits but not publish it, so they can save and exit. So that'll take them back to the outside dashboard. Settings. This is an interesting place because this is where the SEO is. So as you can see here, you've got the different meta tags that are kind of dynamically inserted into the web page, the website, so that it basically can be search engine optimized. So search engines can look for the title of the website, the description of it, the keywords that you want to enter into it, and and the author, for example, if it's a business name, right? And there are some GUI options such as autosave. So if you enable it, then the system automatically autosaves whatever edits you're making. If it's disabled, then you have to manually save it, right? You have show or hide grid lines. As you can see, this is more for visual aid for people who want to know what, the boundaries of what is where. Not necessary. Probably developers can benefit from it more. And show and hide sidebar in preview. So you can, you turn it on. So when you click preview, it kind of, it can enable or disable the sidebar, right? So anyway, so I'm going to turn back the autosave off. SEO is like this. Okay, so that's that. That was settings. Then you have help. You click on that. You have some shortcuts and walkthroughs. You can also, visit here often to see what else there might be there. Like, the system might, the platform might make some notifications and updates here. One thing to notice is that there is a community support which you can access from the dashboard. So once you're signed in, you'll see the community support on the top, which has got a lot of FAQs. There are some videos, tutorials, etc., that go in there, right? Okay, so that's help. And then you have view live button. So once you have made some edits and published it here, you want to see it live. So you go click view live and it opens the published site, which happens almost instantaneously once you've published it on the web. So it'll take you to the live website and you can see it to make sure everything is as you wanted it to be. All right, so home. Okay, so here it is. So rest all is what happens inside of the, the editor, right? So essentially, there are pre-configured templates. They're very nice, beautiful looking templates, very well laid out. Oh yeah, one thing I forgot to mention, these things on the side. You have mobile view, tablet view, and desktop view. So if you click on the mobile view, it is going to make it into a mobile view, you know, thing, and you can see if it's, responsive or not. Same thing with tablet and of course the desktop one, right? Okay, so we've got you till here. Next, we are going to walk through really quickly up into how these main elements, if you are onto this platform, you want to change the text, which is more, relevant to your business, right? So you are a restaurant and you might want to change something. So, for example, if you are a specialist in Japanese sushi, right? So you would want to change something like, so you've just clicked, clicked it to see that the cursor is clicking. You can use the shift key to select the text, right? And whenever you're doing this, you have to just make sure that you don't have, like, like you see this four corner thing. Once you have that on, then if you try to select it, it's going to basically move. So you have to press down shift like you would do in Microsoft Word or Notepad, and use the arrow keys on your keyboard to go up top to select everything. Okay, now you've got it selected. Now you can essentially type here, let's say, New York's greatest sushi joint, right? For example, right? So you got that down. Okay, so now that's done. Now what you'll do is, if you want to publish it, you can publish it, or you just click save and you can see it is saving. All right. So that's the manual save. Let's go into settings. Let's go into settings and let's turn on under the GUI tab the autosave option and say OK. Now you'll see that you're not autosaving it, but if you keep your eye up on the save thing, you'll see periodically it will initiate the saving process and it'll save it just like you would see it in Word. Okay. So let's see here. Now there's Amazing Restaurant. You can change this from this to, let's say, Miami, whatever. I mean, or New York, right? Since we are in New York. So that's that. Okay. So in the rest, you've got book a table, order food, right? You got reviews. Now you can easily delete things that you don't want. For example, if you want to change this picture of this person, if you have a real picture and you want to add it, then you can do it. If you don't want this here at all you do is you have to go to the, you have to mouse over, you have to hover around this place to see, you see the pink line. If I click on it now it becomes blue, right? And on top here, you have these different things where you can click here to remove this element or to clone this element, right? Or copy this element. So what you could do is you could just click here and you can click remove element and the whole thing is gone, right? Now, if you did by mistake and you look at it and you see you don't like it, you can click undo on the top here and it'll bring it back, right? You could also remove individual elements by doing the same thing. Click it once, hover on it, click on once, and then remove element, right? So that's gone. And you can undo it again. And so what you're looking for is the pink line. And once you see the pink line, click once and it becomes blue and becomes static. Now you click on what you want to do, right? It is not advisable in many of these very well done advanced templates to drag stuff around because there's a lot of code in the back that can, it will do it or it might be limited, but it won't be very smooth. The best thing for you to do is make sure you're picking the template you're happy with in terms of the layout, and rest is all pictures and text, right? So instead of this, you will just click on these images here individually, and once you click on them, what you want to do is you want to go to the Be Quick tab where you can see the image, the source of the image. You can either upload it from your computer, or if you have it on somewhere on the internet, then you can put the URL here and it'll pull it from there and it'll show it here, right? So that's how you change the images, right? You can choose file and upload it and do it. You can add URL, or you can, you know, add title, you can add some effects on it, right? So this is something that you could play around with. And and basically see how you like. But in most cases, you just need to change the images and the text, and you have it. Now, one thing that is quite interesting is that some of these templates come with some additional goodies. For example, book a table. If you're a restaurant, you want that. And I clicked on that and it brought me down to book a table, right? So it's already pre-configured. If you're a restaurant, you already got this thing made up, right? And yeah, so as you can see, there's a lot of different options: smoking, non-smoking. This can be adapted to book a room. If you're a restaurant, and change the picture to a room. Next, you have add to cart. As you can see, I'm adding this stuff to the cart, and there's a notification saying egg rolls been added to cart, pink salmon's been added to cart. And you see on the top here, there's a checkout. So even in the mobile view, this will be ticking like a ticker on the top. So I click on this one here, and you see the price has changed to 52. And then we'll add some red pasta, and it says that it's already okay. You know, uh, well, so we go back to full screen, okay, and well, that's it. So you can see that you have all these things that you can, do. There are also some other interesting things. For example, click to call. You have Google Maps. So essentially, what happens is now you got you got your shopping cart, your order already done. You can add, I mean, this is demonstration of how the site will publish site would look like. So that your users or your customers would be able to add or subtract the quantity of these things. They can remove it if they want to, and they can go back up and they can add something else like this here, right? And again, it's been added here. They can say, okay, I want 2 or 3 of those. And then they can place the order, pick up at shop or home delivery, pick the date and time, proceed, and they will add your name and stuff like that and place order. So this order will go in the email and will be, the restaurant owner or the restaurant manager or whoever is there, the cashier, should have access to the registered email ID, because that email is going to pop in saying X, Y, and Z with this email and this phone number at this time has placed this order. All these things, all the order that has been placed is going to go in there. Optionally, there is a make payment option down here, but this one should be done very carefully because this is, with online payment. So you get the order with all the details and the quantity with the name of the person in your email. And once they click on my payment, I mean, it's integrated with PayPal, which is integrated with all credit cards that people can pay using. You will get another email from PayPal saying X, Y, and Z, the same person has paid 130.91 for an order, and your cashier will match those two amounts, and they can do it if you want to get paid in advance. Or you can just disable this part and essentially, do cash on delivery. So how you're going to disable it? You just click on, well, it's going to go into purchase. Okay, we are not going to purchase here. So we are we're just going to get out of the preview mode, because right now it's in the preview mode. That's why it made me click it. If I go here and I click on this button, okay, it's going to, okay, there you go. You can click on disable, and now that button is disabled. Okay, that button has been disabled, and you can actually, if you want, you could change the text of that thing, saying make payment at shop, for example, and then you can save and publish it. So you have to be careful. I mean, this is easy, but again, you have to be careful and get used to it so you don't delete something or edit something in a way that you don't know how to undo it. You see it auto saved it right now. You can, once it is saved, it's, you know, it's not going to undo it. So you should only keep auto save if you're writing long text and not doing something like this, right? You can obviously go click back on it and you can, undo it manually, which means you can go back here and you can just, delete that, make payment, and you see, so it's basically, this is how it's working. Click on the button and then you can do it. So also you can change the colors of it. For example, if you're doing this, um, yeah. So all this stuff. So you have to be careful because these buttons and all are kind of, this is a integrated e-commerce system which you can actually edit. So you have to do it carefully, So it's, you don't want to touch it every so often. I mean, the main things you can obviously add new items in your menu, and that you can do every day. But for example, the cart and whether you're accepting payments or not, you should not want to change it every day, for example. So it's once it's set, you leave it alone. Maybe you can get one of the affiliates to do the initial setup, and then you can go in for this. For example, I've just added another item. All I need to do is click the picture, go to the Be Quick tab, change the image, change the name here. This could be something else like fish tacos, for example, right? And you can change the price here, which is going to be added, right, to the shopping cart. And once they add that, then it is going to basically reflect here, and it's going to basically be an added. Now, if you're adding more items, you can go on adding. Now, I've just added another one. It's just going to duplicate and replicate that here, here, right? And you just change the images, change the text, change the prices, and you know, you have more items in your restaurant. Okay, so that's it. So here we go. So those are the things, and of course, you can editing text is quite easy, right? You can do that quite easily. Just need to click on it, backspace, type, make sure you're saving it at some point manually, and then publishing it to make sure it's online. You can change the pictures the same way you did for that. You've got your Google Maps basically, which can point to your particular location. Your contact us form is there, some additional things, right? Here, but that's pretty much it. I mean, if you're a restaurant who wants to get their menu online, people can, order it, book a table, find your location, give you a call. That's all that you need, right? So that was a quick walkthrough of the environment. I hope this was helpful. And I would like any comments or questions so that we can follow up with some more additional um, tips and tricks on how to get things done. Of course, there is a lot that you can do here, right? This styles tab is how you can style it the way you like it, right? I just changed the color to red, orange, blue, right? So you can play with that all day long. But again, you don't want to touch too many things too very often because um, at the end of the day, you just want an operating website, and it's like, once it is set, you should probably be happy with it and let it basically go, right? Let it be. So some of these design options may or may not be everything would be compatible because some things can be applied, some things doesn't work. Like they're not like you cannot change the font of an image if some text is special. Like for example, if in Word you got Smart Art, right? You cannot apply your regular fonts to Smart Art because they've got a separate set of fonts or designs, right? You cannot do that. So those same kind of rules apply here. So there are limitations and everything, but for the most part, you can do it. If it's a normal text like this here, right? You could do more with it. You could change the colors here, right? You could change the font size by just sliding this thing over here like this. It's that easy, right? Just bring it back to where it's normal. Um, you have line height, it may or may not make any difference here, particularly because, it's just there's nothing above. You can change the letter spacing if you want it to be like this, right? Or you want it tight, something like that. These are small design nuances that you can exercise, but again, everything just done in very moderation to make it working, right? You can change some of the given fonts and as you might like, but that's pretty much it, right? That's pretty much it. You could underline it, right? Again, remember, not everything may be compatible with everything. So if something doesn't work, that means there is some additional design there that does not allow, like, overlapping designs or something that has a conflict in terms of the design, right? There are also other things. For example, there's so many things you can do here. There's simply to so many options, right? But you don't want to necessarily touch everything. This is more for designers who want to sit down and, you know, make some images rounded on the corners, have some special patterns and stuff like that, right? So I hope this was helpful for a quick breeze through the editor environment. If you have any further questions, please leave comments and we'll try to respond to those. Alrighty.